Hey everybody, Matt here. Sorry about the messy hair, but we're out here in the beautiful Arizona desert, putting down some miles on the trusty old mountain bike. So why am I out here riding? Some people might say because it's a hobby, it's something I enjoy doing, right? But what if it's more than that? So something that we as a society don't talk about very much, we say the words but we don't know what they actually mean, is like mental health, right? And Most of you, if you've been following along on this channel, know my profession. And unfortunately, in that profession, sometimes we are faced with what's called critical incidents. Some people will go their whole entire careers experiencing traumatic events, but never necessarily a critical incident. Unfortunately, I've experienced 2 in a short amount of time. And so my mental fortitude has been pretty rocked, for a lack of better words. But it's hard to ask for help, right? And it's hard to lean on people, even though these are people that you know and trust and can confide, that word, can confide in. It's still hard. We're prideful, and it's hard to ask for help when you're down. And I find myself more irritable. I get annoyed much quicker, and it's usually over nothing, right? And I can recognize that. But I also I don't know how to fix it though either. My routine has been totally rocked upside down of what is the norm for me and my household. So it's a balance, right? Don't worry, I'm not going off the deep end or anything crazy like that. I am talking to professionals, but we all go through things, and some of those things are smaller or greater than others. But what I'm slowly starting to realize is that even though we go through things, we're not alone, even though we might feel like it. So if you're dealing with something, especially with the holidays coming up, I encourage you that if you're dealing with something, whether it's personal, professional, whatever the case may be, right, reach out. There are a plethora of resources all around. Whether you're in a different state, reach out to your county's health website, right? Like, I'm sure there's resources for mental health, or if you suffer with depression, or God forbid you have thoughts of suicide, right? Like, nobody wants to say those taboo words, but at the end of the day, those are realities for a lot of people. So reach out, talk to people. I was fortunate enough that I was able to reach out to some of my buddies, and they wouldn't take no for an answer, and we went and had breakfast this morning, and it was, even though we didn't talk about anything really important, it was just nice being around people that you're familiar with and that you have a bond with. So just simple social interaction is powerful. It makes you feel less alone. Also, doing something you enjoy, right? I'll be honest, like I said, my routine's been rocked, so I haven't been doing what I normally do, and I find myself just taking the easy route, which is sitting on the couch, having a beer, and just going through the motions. And not only is that not healthy, it's not conducive. So even before I had plans with breakfast with some of my friends, I made it a point, got the bike ready, and I knew I was going to go for a bike ride. Whether it's a mile, 5 miles, 6 miles, or 100 miles, right? I enjoy riding my mountain bike in the desert. I enjoy the exhilaration of going through the trails and the turns and dodging the cholla cactuses that are hanging over the trail, right? It's fun. So if you have a hobby, right, go do that hobby. That's why you have it. We don't realize it, but our hobbies are actually are there to help us. So if you have a hobby, or you're passionate about something, or whatever the case may be, do it. Break yourself out of that rut. Go do what you enjoy. Clear your head, even if it's only an hour, right? An hour out here of writing could be the whole entire difference for my day being super awesome today, right? Whereas yesterday I didn't do anything, and I had a bad day. But I'm trying to fix it, right? So I'm trying to work on it. But I figured if I'm going through things, right, professionally or personally, especially with Thanksgiving coming up, and you know, then you have Christmas and Hanukkah and all those things that follow right after, right? Like, this is the worst time of the year for a lot of people. Maybe they don't have family or friends close. Maybe they're dealing with their own sort of, and we can talk about finances. People are struggling with all the nonsense that has impacted over the last, year and change, right? So there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of burdens, and then you compound everything else that you might be feeling, and then you compound the holidays on top of that. It becomes dark days for a lot of people. And like, I'm not immune to it, right? You're not immune to it. Our friends, families, loved ones, acquaintances, co-workers, colleagues, they're not immune to it. So that's why I'm sharing this with all of you. Well, for those of you that watch these, pretty much saying that you're not alone. I know I'm not alone. So if you're going through a rough patch, understand it's temporary, right? The famous saying, "This too shall pass," is what I keep trying to remind myself. It's just some of those detours or deviations in what we had planned or thought out might be a little different than what we're going through. So I encourage you, if you're having a bad day, change it. Do something that makes you happy, or at least be able to recognize you're having a bad day, right? So it doesn't ruin your day. And then I encourage and challenge all of you to do something that makes you happy, right? If it's a hobby, writing, working out, talking to a long friend, hiking, camping, cooking, freaking pedicures, like whatever it is you enjoy doing for you, do it. And if you do that, I'm willing to bet that you probably won't have a bad day, or at least the rest of that day will improve significantly. I am optimistic and very hopeful that the rest of my day today is going to be a good one. That's also because I'm choosing to make it a good one, right? Like, we all have that in us. So I linked up with friends. I'm out here on a solo bike ride, enjoying the beautiful sun and the weather in the desert. So do something for you, do something that makes you happy, and remember, you're not going through this alone. You might feel like you're alone, but I assure you, you are not alone. And there are plenty of people who might not be able to walk necessarily in your shoes, but they might be able to walk right next to you. So don't be afraid to ask if you need help, or even a person to lean on. We weren't designed to do things by ourselves indefinitely. We can do certain tasks by ourselves, right? And sometimes it's nice to be alone and have that break, but our species are designed to be with other members of our species. So don't think you have to carry everything by yourself. So with that said, I'm gonna throw the helmet back on. I'm gonna go back on this trail, and I'm gonna keep riding. So till the next one, cheers guys. Be safe. More importantly, be kind, because you never know what someone's going through, right? Have a good one, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, I'm tired, but I feel accomplished. That hill section is a real brute, and I hate walking a bike, so I always power through it, which you guys obviously saw. So, wasn't my fastest time. We did just over 7 miles, 7.36 miles. The total time was 1 hour, 11 minutes, 7 seconds, but that also counts. So like when I was stopping, talking over there, it just kept recording. Our average speed was 6.5 miles per hour. There was a lot of elevation up and down. So overall, I'm happy with it. It felt good to get back out and do something that I enjoy. And it was very simple, right? All I had to do was worry about keep pedaling to get over the next section of trail, whatever that may have been, right? Could have been the rocks, could have been the uphill. It's just a matter about getting over it. So again, thanks for joining. It's not usually a topic that most people talk about because either A, they don't know how, or B, they think it's really taboo. But with the holidays getting closer and everybody just going through their own crap, I think it's important that it be known that you ain't going through it alone. Like there's somebody somewhere going through exactly what you're going through or very similar. So don't be afraid to reach out. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to do something for you with whatever that may be, right? Just do something to clear the mind, but do it constructively, right? Don't do it destructively where you're self-medicating or going to those dark voids. Do something that causes you to breathe and focus on the next small task, whether if it's lifting weights, working out, riding a bike, hiking, right? Do something that'll get your heart going, that'll pump that blood, pump that oxygen to help you clear your thoughts and think a little bit more focused and clearly. So until next time, I know you guys kind of saw the truck and I'm going to do a video. It just hasn't come up. Seems like there's been something else. So I promise you the next video will be the truck, since there has been some upgrades to it. So we'll talk about that in the next video and what's to come. Until then, thank you for watching. As always, I ask that you like, share. If you can get one person to come back and watch these videos, then you know, collectively that'll mean something. So again, thank you. Have a good holiday, right, with Thanksgiving coming up, but most importantly, be kind to one another, because you never know what they're going through or what weight they're carrying. So until the next one, cheers folks.